Anime isn't just entertainment. At its best, it's art. Stories that change how you think, feel, and even live. Today, we're counting down 10 masterpiece anime that define the medium. No filler. No hype, only pics. Just pure greatness. Coming up at number 10, we have Kimetsu no Yaiba, or popularly known as Demon Slayer. Demon Slayer is proof that animation alone can elevate a story. While the plot is simple, the emotional weight, music, and jaw-dropping visuals make it unforgettable. Here are some extremely good scenes from the anime.
いい刀だ。俺は辛い。耐えられない。炎の呼吸。声援のうなり。
If you've watched the anime, then you would know this scene. This is the all-famous battle between Rengoku and Akoza. Rengoku being the Flame Hashira, and Akoza being one of the 12 Kazukis, the Upper Moon 3. It was a very fierce battle, but unfortunately, our extremely loved character Rengoku ended up dying in this battle. If you haven't watched this before, then I highly recommend you go straight up and begin it. Coming up at number 9, we have our villain protagonist, the anti-hero Light Yagami from Death Note. Death Note is a psychological chess match. 2 geniuses, 1 notebook, and a battle of morality that keeps escalating until the very end. Here are some extremely good scenes from the anime.
Zaki. Huh?
Yeah, no, that really hurt.
That's enough! You don't feel like doing anything. Just because your genius deduction was wrong and I'm not, Kira?
Fine, perhaps I phrased that the wrong way. I meant it would be pointless for us to make a move, so we shouldn't even bother.
If we don't chase Kira, he'll never be caught. Is that what you want?
If you've watched this anime, then you would know Light Yagami is a villain protagonist who believes his intelligence gives him the right to decide who lives and die. But there's another smart pounce called L. The relationship between Light and L is a psychological rivalry built on intellect, deception, and mutual obsession. It's often described as a cat and mouse game, where both characters are simultaneously hunter and prey. Coming up at number 8, we have Cowboy Bebop. Cowboy Bebop is a stylish, emotional, and timeless anime. It blends jazz, loneliness, and action into a story about people running from their past. Here are some extremely good scenes from the anime. 'If you've watched this anime, you would know that set in 2071, humanity has spread across the solar system. The story follows a group of bounty hunters, cowboys, traveling on the spaceship Bebop, chasing criminals to survive while running from their pasts with its lead character Spike Spiegel. Coming up at number 7, we have Your Name. Your Name isn't just a movie, it's an experience. Love, fate, and time collide in one of the most beautifully animated films ever made. Here are some extremely good scenes from the anime.
あの日、星が降った日、
たすらに美しい眺めだった。
お姉ちゃん、何しとるの？
え？にしてください。
どこ？
うわ！
変な夢。
私、
おや、お兄ちゃん、それ糸森やろ。
懐かしいな。
この人糸森し。
Your Name, also known as Kimi no Nawa, is a romantic fantasy drama that talks about two teenagers who have never met. Mitsuha, a girl from a rural town, and Toki, a boy living in Tokyo, begin mysteriously switching bodies while they sleep. As the body swapping continues, they form a deep emotional bond without meeting until they finally meet. At number 6, we have Vinland Saga. Vinland Saga is an anime about violence, and why it destroys everyone it touches. A brutal, mature story about revenge, growth, and what it means to be truly strong. Here are some extremely good scenes from the anime.
Joe! Nobody lay a hand on this one! It's all mine! Take this! Come on! You just cut my wrist, boy. You're full of surprises, aren't you?
With as big as he is, he'll be dead if he lands one hit.
All right, I'll kick! Oh, that hurts!
Vinland Saga is a historical action drama anime that explores revenge, violence, and the search for peace during the Viking Age. Although it begins as a revenge story, Vinland Saga gradually becomes a philosophical exploration of violence and its consequences. If you haven't watched this, I highly recommend you go start it now. Coming up at number 5, we have Steins Gate. Steins Gate is an anime that starts as a silly time travel then slowly turns into absolute despair. Steins Gate rewards patience with one of the most emotionally devastating second halves in anime. Here are some extremely good scenes from the anime.
The big screen. Down in the shop.
The story follows Rintaro Okobe, an eccentric self-proclaimed mad scientist, and his small group of friends, who accidentally discover a way to send messages to the past using a hacked microwave and a cell phone. These messages, called D-mails, change the present in subtle and not so subtle ways.
Are you sure?
Just start the toggling!
But we don't even know if it's gonna work!
God damn it, do as I say!
At number 4, we have Monster. Monster is anime that doesn't need superpowers to be terrifying. Johann Liebert is one of the greatest villains ever written, because he feels real. Here are some extremely good scenes from the anime.
え？変な冗談やめてくれよ。やめてくれよ。
夢から覚めたんだよ。
疲れてるんじゃないのか。計画はどうするんだい？
覚めたんだ。
ちょっと待てよ。
The story follows Dr. Kenzo Tenma, a brilliant Japanese neurosurgeon working in Germany. One night, he chooses to save the life of a young boy over an important political figure, acting on his belief that all lives are equal. That decision ruins his career, but years later, he discovers something horrifying. The boy he saved, Johann Liebert, has grown into a brilliant, charismatic serial killer. From that moment on, Tenma sets out to stop Johann.
僕しか知らない記憶。本当に 行くべきところ。
At number 3, we have Full Metal Alchemist, Brotherhood. Brotherhood is an anime that is storytelling perfection. Action, philosophy, humor, and tragedy, all balanced flawlessly. Every character matters. Here are some extremely good scenes from the anime.
目標は金髪挑発の男。
The story follows two brothers, Edward and Alphonse Elric, who practice alchemy, a science like art that lets them transform matter by following the rule of equivalent. When they were children, the brothers attempt the ultimate taboo, bringing their dead mother back to life using alchemy. But the attempt fails catastrophically. If you haven't watched this, then you have to see it as soon as possible, cause it is a must-watch. At number 2, we have Berserk. Berserk is dark fantasy at its rawest. It's about struggle, against fate, against evil, and against yourself. Here are some extremely good scenes from the anime.
グリフィス。
気をつけて、こいつ手強いよ。
剣を引いてくれないか。ダメか。
Berserk follows Guts, a lone mercenary with a massive sword, who survives a cruel medieval world through sheer strength and will. He crosses paths with Griffith, a charismatic and brilliant leader of a mercenary group called the Band of the Hawk. And finally, we have come to the end of the list. Coming up at number 1 is Attack on Titan. Attack on Titan isn't just anime, it's modern mythology. What starts as survival horror becomes a complex story about freedom, war, and human nature. Here are some extremely good scenes from the anime. Humans live inside enormous walled cities to protect themselves from titans, which roam outside and devour people seemingly without reason. The story begins when a colossal titan breaches the wall, leading to massive destruction and loss of life. If you haven't watched this, I highly recommend you go watch it. These anime didn't just entertain us, they changed the medium forever. If you enjoyed this list, like, subscribe and comment what anime you think deserves the title of masterpiece. Thank you for your time. Till the next time, Forgers.